in color.
15.
Wait, so how did you guys meet and how did this come about? It's dope. I watched a few episodes and
So
I
Sanjana
like
was
it a
a
lot.
fan, so she kept commenting on all the episodes. I was like, I need to be on this, anything. Let's make it happen.
Right.
And then finally I was like,
Yeah.
no.
Exactly that.
We knew each other from school. Yeah. And then
Okay.
we were dating,
Nice.
and then we weren't dating, and now I think we're dating again. So it's on and off situation.
Okay, dope. Nice.
For today.
So yeah, and then this was just something during lockdown where honestly I just wanted to kind of, you can physically go meet people. So it was like, fuck it, why not like try to do a podcast, talk to cool people doing cool things. And it was just one of those things. And we we spoke to some really cool people in Delhi, and then just work and life and stuff happened last few months, so we stopped. And yeah, we're looking to restart it again, and it's a lot of fun, man. And especially so our whole thing is that we're talking to people who are following their passion, so they can be achieving it, working towards it, or and it could be business related, like in the creative field, whatever it is. And so it's a really cool concept because it's open-ended for the type of people we can talk to. And so yeah, that's basically it. Like that's what we're trying to do.
Oh, love it.
So on today's episode, we have Advik Jetley, who is an up-and-coming rapper, originally from Gurgaon, now living in LA. And we're super excited to talk to him, learn about his journey, and talk to him a little bit about the music process, and of course, what his dreams and ambitions are and how it's going so far. So thanks for joining, Advik. And yeah, tell us a little bit about yourself. What's your story? How did you kind of get to this point? And how did I find, you posting a music video on Instagram? How did you get here?
Yeah, no, thank you guys for having me. I appreciate it. I mean, I was always kind of into hip hop so I grew up in Gurgaon most of my life, spent a little bit of time as a kid in the Middle East, but mostly in Gurgaon, Delhi. And always kind of from a young age gravitated towards music and then rap and hip hop especially. And I think it was like third or fourth grade, I didn't have my own iPod at that time, and there was somebody on my bus that had like a iPod and sharing like an earphone with me, and he like played
probably me.
Yeah, it was like actually a senior. I remember, I don't know who he was, but he gave me an earphone, just to like pass some time because of that long bus trip all the way to Pathways.
Yeah. Oh, you're a cool guy.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, it was like a car at that time because school was so small. So yeah, I wasn't hanging at the back, but whatever. So he played me some Eminem, and I think the song was Just Lose It. And I was like, what is that? Like it's like funny, but it's like catchy and all of that. And I went home on LimeWire and I downloaded all of that stuff, and I was like hooked instantly, like around fourth, third, fifth grade. And then as I got older, I, expanded, did my stuff around like research around other hip hop, old school hip hop. And it always stayed with me. It never really was something I thought I wanted to do until like around eighth grade. A friend of mine from the UK, he had come to Pathways to study and stuff. And he was like all about like writing down these raps and stuff. And I would read them. Yeah. I would read them and like listen to them. And like, he would like, sometimes perform in front of like at camps and stuff like that,
Just what,
and I was
or like perform stuff he knew from like just
rap.
rap.
No, he would like scribble some nonsense down on a paper and rap it out. Right. And I was like, listen, like if this guy can do it, like I can try my hand at it, like I'm sure like I could try something. So I kind of wrote my first stuff. And early on in my life, I think between high school years of like 9th and 12th grade, like it became like my outlet for the angst of, teenage years and like stuff like that. So I wasn't really making songs, but I would write like my feelings in the form of raps and like had notebooks filled with like that kind of stuff. And eventually that kind of led to, okay, like how do you like make a song? Because writing a verse or writing some raps and making a song is like completely different. And, you know, I kind of, by the time I was graduating school, I was like, okay, like, you know, I really, really like this and I want to do something with it. And it was like, it was pre like, you know, Instagram, real Instagram. We just had started getting Instagram. So I wasn't like, I didn't want to stay back in India and like figure that out. Like I had an offer to go to the US to study business. And I was like, okay, like maybe I can go. And I remember having a conversation with my parents, like 12th grade or something like that. I'm gonna be doing rap music. Like I'm gonna do it. And they looked at me like, are
But
you
you had,
fucking
they were like, yeah, this is crazy, like ridiculous
Dude,
idea.
they were like, you met my parents, like they're cool, you know, they're
Sure.
open to ideas, but that was pretty far-fetched for them. Like they were like, okay, Advik, like okay, like you know, type thing. But
So you
I
went to
got to this.
school for undergrad. I mean, sorry, for business or something like that.
Yeah, I went to school. I went to undergraduate business school at the University of Minnesota. And yeah, so that was a big change, you know. Super cold. But it was dope because it afforded me the
Super
freedom to
cold.
kind of like,
4 years, what you got out of it was super cold. Was that what?
yeah, no, yeah, no, Minneapolis is an underrated city for
Okay.
sure. It was a great platform. And also I feel like um I don't know, a city like New York, I don't, Sanjana, you could probably speak to this, but like it's a lot for a college student to begin with, you know, like it's not only is it expensive, it's like you're almost living an adult life right away,
Hmm.
Yeah,
you know?
100%. You're
So
kind of forced into that, even if you don't want to be.
yeah, exactly. And it's like what you're doing for fun is different. Like, and I had a campus life. And what's cool about the college was it's like right by downtown as well. So like the city of Minneapolis is very close, like, you know, and there was like the city and the college. So I was kind of like afforded both. And it was like a cool platform to start off with. But I got there and, you know, I still had the habit of writing a lot of verses and raps. And so I like went and booked some studio time, like with somebody random. And I just found it online, whatever I could afford, you know, at the time. And recorded my first few songs, you know, put them out on SoundCloud. There was a decent response. Obviously, it was starting off. It was pretty, you know, it was pretty quiet. But eventually what I did was like, okay, I'm like, okay, as long as I can keep recording and keep making new songs, like I can feel the quality of each song kind of getting a little better at each kind of step. It's like I get more confidence in my voice and more like ability to express myself in my lyrics, etc., etc. So I was like, how do I get like free studio time? Like, how is this possible? Like, is there a studio on campus? And so I found out there was a studio on campus. Like it was like one of those state of the art like studios for like classical music students to record and stuff. And I was a business major, so there was no access for me. But I found out, like I emailed a few people and I found out that if I take a certain graduate student class, that I could get access to it. So I take this class and it's me and like bunch of grad students. I have no idea what I'm doing in the class. Like it was something like the future technology of music and all of that. But you know, whatever, got through the class and then they gave me access to the studio and it was the most free studio time I'll ever get in my life. Because it was just a Google Calendar and like there weren't too many people really using it. And it would be booked like sometimes, but like you could really go in there anytime because my like whatever key card had access to it. So I would be in there, like I got in trouble a few times because I had my friends in there like late at night, like recording music. But I must have like I still have like a folder. I must have over those like 2-3 years that I had access, I must have like recorded at least like 200 or 300 songs in there. Like,
Oh, damn.
Do you look
yeah,
back at those now and kind of like say, I've come a long way, or this is still my like space, or like what do you feel now that you like listen back to those tracks?
yeah. I think like with music, like especially with rap, like you have to really put in your reps. Like you have to put up your shots, and like that stuff back then, it's like not great. I'm not gonna lie. It was me at like whatever, like 60%, whatever, 50, 60%.
Yep.
And but and also it was like I was still learning how to record myself, and it was like a state-of-the-art studio with like all this stuff and mixing boards and all of that. So it was a great, like it was great to like do that. But out of those songs, like I only put out about like 20 to 25 of them. You know, I put out 2 projects in college. Like one was called, my first project was Never Lost Sight. And the second, I think I called it Young Jet. But yeah, no, and I collaborated with producers in the US and some people that I was still connected with in Delhi. So kind of a mix of that stuff. And it was dope because like it was I could just keep doing it and keep kind of figuring it out. And I think like I eventually started going to other studios around like, you know, the city and stuff. But that was like my first kind of like really like getting into it and making sure like I was honing my skills type thing. So yeah, no, I feel like I got a lot out of a college, like business school in general. Like networking was cool, like the aspect of business school. It helped in music sense too, because it helped me reach out to people and like kind of make connections with studio producers and et cetera, et cetera. So that was a dope experience for sure. But I feel like I really started to grow in terms of my music more when I left college and like started to like, okay, like what is my sound? Like, who am I working with in New York was like some formidable years as well. So yeah, I ended up, you know, doing the business school route, doing a few internships here and there.
And are you still
then,
like, are you still working? Are you working somewhere? Or are you doing this full time now and stuff? What's your like current setup?
yeah, no, I'm still working. I'm like, you know, I had to figure out my visa stuff here. So, yeah, so,
gotta do it for the visa.
yeah. I mean, otherwise, we can't really stay here, right? And I mean, I'm not opposed to going back to India and like just doing music, but for me, I feel like we're as Indians, as South Asians, we're underrepresented in the music industry here in America. And I kind of want to bring that story to the table and bring that, you know, to the table.
But I think it's super unique, right? Like how many people are there that went to international schools? And I mean, yeah, international schools in like Delhi or Gurgaon, and then are now living in the US. It's not a lot, right? There's like a few schools. So your perspective, like for sure, the South Asian thing is there, and that's like there's not a lot of people doing that. But even your background is even more unique or like even more specific. So that's what I thought it was like really interesting for you, because you've had that like culture clash of like, you know, living in the best parts of India or parts that people have no clue about, right? Like so when we meet people here or from different parts of the world, their perception or their thought of what India is like is really different from the life we lived, right? Because we lived in our fucking nice bubble and stuff. And so for you, it must be really interesting because you can like kind of express that in your music. And have you seen that, you know, kind of having an effect on people and like your audience and stuff like that? Is that something that you're continuously trying to play on, or is it that, you know, you've found maybe a new life or a new situation that you're trying to live and like you're more focused on that? And yeah, just like how do you go about like creating music, and like what's your process on, you know, writing your songs and stuff?
Yeah, that's a great question, actually. I think yes, like just being Indian, like I like my audience, it gravitates towards, you know, Indians, American Indians. Like I can reach those people easily. You know, I used to do a lot of shows with the Indian Student Association in college. You know, people love to see, you know, representation, people putting on for like the story from the in India part of it, like from coming from there. I think there's a large part of my story which is like you're talking about, which is like the struggles of being an immigrant, or like the story of being an immigrant, you know, kind of, you know, odds you have to deal with, the new life you have to create. So part of it is there. And of course, hip hop is about putting on for your city, putting on for where you're from, and staying true to those roots. And that I'm all about that. Like I'm trying to, you know, put, like I said, put that on the front. But of course, like I do believe that the music is like also like, yeah, it's more than just, you know, about like I'm from India, I'm from Delhi. It's about,
That's not
you
your
know,
identity.
like,
You don't have to like, yeah, you don't have to stick to that.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And it's like, you know, it's like what emotions you're going through as like a growing, like, you know, growing guy, or like or everything. Like I like to, whatever's on my mind, or like whatever's going on, I'll try to like put it through, because the raw, most authentic stuff that's the most vulnerable tends to cut through the most. I mean, I love to do my braggadocious, like pop my shit type, you know, raps as well. Like that's also part of hip hop.
Yeah.
And I'll always be talking about Delhi, and I'll always be talking about where I'm from and putting on. But ultimately, I think music is also a bigger feeling that I want to get to, into really being like an artist that's like talking to people about real issues, about things that matter, and things that matter is like, you know, young adults growing up and shit.
Nice.
Have you been able to do like like shows, or how is that process kind of happening?
Yeah.
Look now, I mean, I'm guessing during COVID that wasn't happening, but now is it more, or is that something that a space that you're in, or like kind of, I know that you also said you're like working, so how do you balance between kind of this passion that you have and, you know, having to do
Yeah.
a job?
For sure. Yeah, I do shows, like I keep pitching to new venues, and I did a show a few months ago in LA at with a showcase called Breaking Sound. Did a show in India while I was visiting last month.
No way.
At
Cool.
yeah,
How does it work if you're here?
yeah, no, I used to perform at pianos and those bars kind of down
Oh,
in East Village.
oh,
Yeah.
nice. Cool.
So, you know, little showcases here and there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's dope because shows really like, shows are the best way to like connect with people, and like bring an audience. So love to do that as much as I can. And during quarantine and stuff, like I was doing like lives and stuff, and trying to get people engaged as much as I could. I think shows are important these days, and it's important to keep doing them. But I think what's key in today's day and age is really creating content online, like I'm sure, as you guys know, that people are coming back to, and want to listen to, and creating a fan base through that, because your reach is so global. And I'm really, my focus now is like TikTok, and like figuring out like how I can, you know, reach my audience, reach American Indians, like people in general who are resonating through my music on TikTok.
Yeah.
So working on building that up. How do I balance it? It's always been tough. You know, in New York when I was starting off, it was the worst, because, you know, when you're starting out, there's no sense of like, you know, you're always on call or on go. And like I was working in the office from like 9 to 6, coming back exhausted, you know, wanting to chill. But I really feel like when I ignore like making music, like it bothers me. Like when I don't write for a long time, like I'm like feel more antsy than usual, feel more anxious.
Like writing every day or something like that, or like how often do you do that?
I used to write every day. Now it's like not as much. Like now it's like it's more sporadic. Because now I feel like I've like figured out like the that I know I can write, but now it's like, okay, what am I writing? What is the content here? What is the what am I trying to say? And yeah, I feel like you do a bit of living, and like you figure out what you're trying to do, and then you come back to it. But I'm trying to get back into that consistent routine I used to have in college, because in college I was just writing all the time, and I feel like it's just like anything. Like the more shots you're putting up, the better each song is gonna get. So yeah, no, and balancing it has definitely been tough. But as I've kind of like, you know, had a little bit more experience, you know, I work in advertising, and had a little bit more experience, and figured out. Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Nice.
I work at a small advertising agency. It's a performance marketing, and I'm their copywriter. So like the ad world is at least it's some sort of a creative outlet. Better than I guess like being in finance.
Yeah.
In terms of like the creativity side of it.
Absolutely, absolutely, and people are more understanding of a passion, of a creative outlet. Not everybody is just working, you know, their 9 to 5s. So it's the closest I could be. I'm thinking about, you know, foraying into music marketing and stuff. But yeah, I'm currently, I was with Interbrand. I'm gonna work with McCann soon. So
Nice.
yeah,
Nice. What do you do for, what's your role? Like, what do you do at the agency? Do you
I'm
feel like
like,
it?
sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead, you go ahead. Like,
No, my bad.
you're fine, you're fine.
What do you do at the agency?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do like analytics and strategy. So
Right.
like, you know, tracking campaigns, like making recommendations, stuff like, yeah. So I'm finally getting to like a manager level position. So hopefully I can delegate a bit here and there. I hope they don't see this. I'm kidding.
Do a lot of people from your office know that you're a rapper and you're trying to pursue this like full time?
I let people know that are like working closely with me. Like I definitely don't introduce myself on like a big team as, hey, like my name's Big fun fact, like I got like music videos out, check it out. Like you know, Jetley
You
on all
should. Why not? I mean, I feel like,
You can only go two ways. They'll either really like it or they'll think you're a fucking dick. So
or like you
you
can
know,
be
it's
the
like,
star performer at a holiday party or something. I don't know.
yeah,
I've done stuff like that for sure. And like when
yeah,
I was in person in New York, everybody knew that I was into music, right? Like, but as you do more remote working, like I feel like there's more distance between your colleagues in a
sure,
sense.
sure.
So I definitely let my like, you know, immediate colleagues know what's up. Like I'm quite like honest about what's going on and stuff. But yeah, I mean, like I'm definitely not hiding it. If I get to know someone, I'm gonna let them know, like, hey, like this is what I do on the side.
Can't really
Like if
help
they
it.
are,
Like, yeah.
yeah, I can't help it. It's nothing I'm trying to hide. Like, you know,
Mm.
like if you're interested, like this is what I do, check it out. But I'm not trying to force it on anybody because also I'm also trying to make sure that they see me in a full professional light. You know, like the word rapper comes with a few things which I'm willing to own and take, but like I'm not just trying to push it on people at all, especially at the workplace, you know.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
again, like as with being like from India or whatever, it's not being a rapper isn't your whole identity. It's something you do, you're passionate about.
Right.
Doesn't have to be everything that
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, and I like to say like you know, I would like to say an artist, you know, like and eventually like somebody that's like
Right.
making more than just raps and making real songs, but like you know that's part of like that's part of what I signed up for, so I'm cool with it. Like I have pretty thick skin, so no problems with like whatever people are thinking. I know that like you know like this is what I want to do. A lot of people won't understand it or will question it. They'll
Yeah.
be like, what's on, like this Indian kid's lost his mind, but I have no qualms with it. Like, you know, the people that are in my corner will rock with me for who I am and my personality and whatever I'm putting out. So yeah.
Sure.
Well, there's no bad publicity. So like even if they are saying negative things, at least they're talking about you. So there's
Right.
that.
Right. Totally. So and people are nice, like people are pretty
Yeah.
cool. Yeah, you know, people
So have you
appreciate.
yeah. No, so I was just gonna say, have you got like a big party scene in LA just because you're part of the music scene and what's that like in terms of like meeting people and like going out and stuff? Do people recognize you? Is that process started happening yet? Or and generally you meet
um
people through this?
yeah, no, people aren't recognizing me yet. I'm not I'm not at that level yet, but yeah,
Yeah.
no,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, keyword, yeah. But no, in New York, so what I would do is like I like went to a bunch of different music studios and started to like network. You know, I would pay for sessions and talk to producers, talk to engineers, make those connections. I formed some close connections with some people in there's a rapper called Dave East. He signed the Def Jam, New York rapper.
Right.
I used to go to their studio a lot and like made some pretty close connections with his production team, his engineer, and a few of the younger artists, younger producers around him. You know, would volunteer there a lot from time to time just to get some time here and there, free time at the studio. So I learned from there. It's like okay, like the best way to like make those connects is to happen organically, naturally, and like so yeah, like and a lot of it is like also reaching out on Instagram or wherever and like collaborate, like asking for collaborations or talking about collaborating. And from there, I feel like those skills of like making friends, meeting new people, that carried over to LA. And like a bunch of my friends here are artists too. Like a couple of close friends are artists. You know, we'll go out sometimes, and there's a lot of like parties or like places we'll go where it's like a house full of creative artists here and there. And so like you never really know where you're meeting people. You know, like I was like at a car wash, like at a gas station once, and you know, getting my tires filled, and this dude is like just started talking to me, and I look behind, there's a Rolls Royce behind him. I'm like, oh, like what do you do? He's like, I manage Sean Kingston.
Damn.
What? Like
Sean
you know,
Kingston.
you get
Oh,
yeah. So you know, it's like just like sorry.
Sean Kingston, another throwback.
I know.
Really
Yeah.
today.
Yeah, for real. So yeah, just you know, staying on your toes, making sure you're being genuine, making good connections, and then some people just fall through the cracks. Some people you actually end up working with, like you know, going to sessions with. You know, I met this dope artist at a party a few weeks ago, and you know, we've stayed connected, and it's dope to. I feel like that's really meaningful to me because you see people who are like-minded, similar situations to you, doing the damn thing, you know, like really taking it there, creating their fan bases, putting music out, you know, and like figuring out how to monetize it for themselves. So that makes me feel like it's within reach, like it's right here, you know, it's inspiration for me as well. And it's also like dope to collaborate and like get in the studio with these people.
And dude, what's like the studio like, right? Because I feel like for like, you know, for most people, and including me, right, like the studio seems like it's huge fucking party where you spend like a few hours, everybody's getting drunk, there's girls, and it's just like a party. Is that like actually what it's like?
Dave. I know you're thinking of Dave, like the show.
I'm thinking, I don't know exactly, Dave the show and like a bunch of other
show.
like, huh?
Great show, by the way.
Great
That's
show.
how he does it. That he's just like hanging out in the studio with girls.
I mean, also every single music video where they show the studios, it seems like a fucking party. So is that what it's like all the time? Because damn, even I want to be a rapper now.
Oh my God.
It's not like that at all. It's not like that at all. It's like I mean you can call a bunch of people and like throw a party, but you know it's your money on the line, like you're paying for each hour. So if you want to party or you want to make songs, you know, like that's kind of what it's like. And for me, like I mean I used to go to the studio a lot. I used to pay for a lot of studio time, but now like I've invested in a home setup. Like I think that's the future, you know, like it is the future. Like kids are doing it everywhere. I just spent more money on a good mic and a good audio interface, and I don't really go to the studio to pay for time unless I'm collaborating on a session. You know, if it's with so like I'm recording at home mostly. All the stuff that I put out lately, it's from the house, and you know I work with somebody to mix master it just to reduce those costs, you know, also because studio time can really add up. And the reason you're seeing those parties and you know pop culture and movies is because the label is footing the studio bill, right? So they'll book out the studio for, you know, 2 weeks for an artist to record an album, or a month, you know, and it's just like this one artist there all the time. And so he's bringing his homies through, or he or she is bringing his homies through, like girls and such, through booze, weed, and that's why it can be a party for sure. Like, and I've been in a couple sessions where it's like, okay, like there's champagne, there's like a box full of champagne because they're sponsored by like Bel Air or something, and it's fun and stuff. But as an artist, like I can record around people around me. I really learned that like, okay, like I don't really care who's around. Like I've got a goal to like get this out, but I prefer to like have it close circle, like have it. Yeah, it's really distracting, and it's
I would
it's
imagine
fun. Like
you have like 50 people, half of them are naked girls, and there's like a bunch of booze and weed. Who the fuck is gonna do any work, you know? That's what.
Not a script club, actually. Like I don't know what.
I No, that's what I'm
What is
saying.
going
Like, I can't
on?
imagine. I can't imagine that actually being the reality of it. Because who's gonna get anything done if it's actually like that?
Yeah, no, it's not like that. And it's also a very place where you're trying to be super vulnerable, right? You're trying to really get some shit
Yeah.
out there. So it's like there's some sessions where I want like where I'm cool, like it's a fun song, it's a fun vibe. Like if my homies are around, like and there's some friends of mine around, sure, like let's get it done. And
Yeah.
there's some where I want like the lights out and I want to just like me and the engineer, I want to like work one-on-one type thing. But like I said, like it's been many years of me doing this, so I'm like not phased by whoever is really there at this point. But just yeah. So, but and you know, like I said, once there's a you know a label or like once I become bigger to where there's a point where I'm not really worried about the studio budget, I'll be sure to invite both of you to a session so you can come and we can.
I'm down.
Like,
Anywhere.
one without me, since he wants these like naked girls. And stuff. I'll come to the next
Listen, I want that
one.
object to just
A little
casually
more,
happen.
like,
It's nothing to do with me.
I'm insane. Yeah, we can do it like we can do it in turns. But yeah, that'd be cool. Do you
Sure,
think like you've like found your niche with like your music or like the people that you're kind of talking to when you know are recording something or like putting something out there? Do you feel like you have that, or is this something that like you're discovering um in terms of like yeah, who likes it or who would listen to it or who responds to it, what type of like person or
yeah. I think, yeah, I mean, I think, yeah, I've discovered some of it for sure. I think there's a lot of room for me to grow and for me to like expand that audience of who it is and who's resonating. But yeah,
yeah,
like for sure, like people between the ages of kind of 16 to 26 interested in hip hop,
Yeah.
like, like interested in
Well,
rap, hip hop, like
yeah, I was listening to your songs and like they're all like, at least from the ones that I listen to, especially the new one as well. I want to ask you about that also. Like it's quite upbeat. So it would be something where it's like more of like a, I don't know, party environment or something like that.
hey, you have it handy to play right now or like to overlay when we edit this?
Yeah, we can play it.
yeah, I can send you I
Yeah.
can send you guys the way file for sure. Yeah, no, I think that's also a big part of who I am, right? Like, is that like upbeat, motivational, like energy, like okay, let's do it, like let's get it done, like type of hustle, type of mentality. And I feel like that's something like I hope like my fan base is gonna tap into and feel from that for sure. And a lot of my music is stuff that can be played at parties and can be like played around. I've done a few tracks. I've done a few like a lo-fi track with an R&B singer called These Days. I mean, that's my track, and then another one called Right. So I do like more chill shit too. I do like making stuff for people to listen to in headphones and like when they're alone type stuff. But
Yeah.
yeah, I definitely love to get on a track which is a high energy, good beat, and just really just rap, like like
And I
get some
definitely
shit
know
off.
you wrote this one because you have one line where it says, "Where I come from, it's hot." I was like, "Damn, this is definitely Gurgaon." He's talking about point.
Yeah. I think the chorus is I keep it on lock straight to the top. Yeah, there ain't no stopping this. Where I come from is hot. I cannot stop. No, all I can think of is profiting. Yeah. So yeah, no, I mean there's like a balance between that where I feel like a lot of my female friends will be like, okay, like this is dope and I like this kind of music, but I also want to hear you like talk about like a heartbreak or like your feelings, like you know what I mean? Like
Something real.
yeah,
Yeah.
like let's hear you like
Love
really
how
like
the female friends told you to do that. No other friends were like, it's a call
well,
out.
guys never
Kind of friend.
Right.
No, I know. You're not wrong. It's just funny.
yeah. But ultimately, like I'm not only trying to make music for a bunch of dudes, you know what I mean? Like hip hop is primarily like not primarily, but a majority male audience. But like I definitely want to like speak to like, both and like be able to be vulnerable. And I've been trying to push myself on those new tracks like These Days and Right. And some new shit I've been writing too. But yeah, I think that it's like a balance. And I think that TikTok is a great place to keep discovering and
Mm,
evolving your fan base,
nice.
because I just wrote a song So I just quit weed recently. It's been 9 or 10 days.
I was expecting a longer duration
Yeah.
of time. It's a new thing.
Yeah. I mean, I've tried it once before, but
Right.
I'm really serious about it this time.
One.
Yeah. I mean, it's, a prominent part of like, just relaxing, blah, blah, blah. It has been for my life, but I'm just like, feel like, okay, maybe I should cut this out. And
Yeah.
so, it comes with a lot of withdrawals and a lot of weird emotions. So yesterday I wrote a track called Reset. And I was just talking to my friend about how like I'm gonna get on TikTok and make a skit about like, I just quit weed or I just quit this and like this is how I'm feeling, and then just go straight into the song because it's a really vulnerable verse and it's really like it's like a turbulent emotion type verse. So like I think that platform gives you the ability to, with every release, evolve and figure out who it is that your listeners are and who your audience is. So really trying to like focus and like take advantage of that and like put more stuff out there. Even though I just felt like I feel like we're like our generation is a little bit like we're just starting to get on it, TikTok in a sense. So I'm like hoping to like remove that all like stigmas or whatever with the platform and just do my thing there. So definitely will be putting a lot of content out there soon.
No, that's sick. And their new music video, sorry, like just on your on the music video is so sick. So like, was that? I mean, I'm sure it was planned out, but I mean, one, who pays for the whole thing, and then like, how did you get that all together, and how long does it take to make something like that?
Yeah, good. Thank you. First of all, I appreciate you recognizing that because it definitely was a lot of effort that I put into that. I pay for all of this through my day job, all of it. The beats, the equipment, like as soon as I left college, I haven't depended on the fam anymore, and I've tried to just be independent in that sense, and it has taken a significant fucking hit on my savings, but I mean, for me, it's like, okay,
savings, it's okay.
Yeah, and it's like, hey, like this money is going towards me, like putting towards like to my passion project, like so it's cool. And
it's fine, figure it out after.
Yeah, I don't need to match. But no, yeah, I pay for all this stuff, and I find people. I for this particular music video, I was really hoping to elevate the quality of my visuals and create something a little bit more aesthetically just like a experience that enhances like the listening experience of the song. And like I've done a few like I think this was my fourth or fifth like video. So I did one two in Delhi. I had a song called Going Back to Delhi, which was a play on, going back to Cali, the Biggie song.
Sure.
So we shot that in Delhi, and I've worked with like, videographers there, and go to a certain like location and like shoot behind it and just do regular rapper shit, like rap with the camera. But I think going forward, anytime I put a visual out, people can expect like that, like, okay, like there's a lot of thought behind this, and this is more than just me rapping at a camera, because I'm done with that. And I want to like, like something like Dave and Lil Dicky, his videos were very strategically thought out and like like premeditated.
Yeah,
like
so creative, like just completely different, I guess, right? Like I think that's another thing, is that we grew up with this notion of not just for rap specifically, but just types of music and what it should look like and sound like and kind of make you feel like. But who decides that? Like absolutely no one, right? So whenever somebody does something like completely left field from what we're used to, only two things happen: either nobody cares and nobody recognizes them, or it absolutely blows up. And it's like usually never in between. I mean, the in between one is either your message was muddled or something like that. So that's really interesting I think for you as an artist, and generally for people, is like do something that you want to, and like try something different. Who the fuck cares? Like, what's the worst that could happen? You blow through your savings.
Right. Yeah, no, I mean, like It takes money to make money, and then you as like a musician, you have to understand that like it's not gonna just it's not just gonna, eventually if you keep putting up enough, like okay, like something's gonna give if you're putting out quality content eventually, but you got to keep like betting on yourself, like you really do. And I think that like obviously like I'm saying this now, but that's not to say that there's not moments where I'm like doubting myself or being like, damn, like is this gonna work, blah blah blah. But sometimes like it's just gotta like you gotta put it out there and see what comes back. So yeah, for this particular music video, I like found a director that I really liked his work, and found a venue. So it comes with like you pay for the director, you pay for the venue, you pay for any model or cost that you're using in the video, or any subs extras. And yeah, we put it together. We shot it in downtown LA. Just came out this week, actually 2 days ago. Shit.
Yeah, I mean, I saw it, and then like, yeah,
yeah,
no,
so
congrats on that. It's sick, and to everybody who worked on it with you, I think everybody did like a great job, because I mean, if I didn't know you and I saw it, and honestly, when I watched it, I was like, who is this, right? Because I couldn't recognize thing, and like it was dope. I really enjoyed it. I liked the song, and of course, I liked the throwback to Gurgaon, so that was really cool as well. And yeah, like
Bunch is like, yes, shout out to me.
presentation.
yeah.
Represent. You mentioned this shout out to Gurgaon like 5 times.
It was just funny. Like, I don't know, I guess. Yeah, it was really cool though.
I mean,
No,
I guess
man.
also like that's kind of what like I'm guessing, trying to do, appeal to people who can like relate to your music, or like have a lyric but they're like, oh shit, that means something to me as well.
Yeah,
I feel like that's a use case right there.
right. Yeah, no, I appreciate that, Iman. And for sure, like I'm definitely gonna look to do that with videos going forward. But for the sake of my pockets and like just in general, like I think my focus going forward is short form content, because music videos are important and stuff, but I feel like it would be more prudent of me to like focus that on like creating like shorter videos, more consistent.
The way to go, for sure. I think you need to, I'm sure you already have thought of it, but like I feel like if you just get the right algorithm set to talk to the certain type of people that you need to on TikTok, it could definitely like
Jason Derulo like not reinvented himself, but reintroduced himself to an entire generation off of TikTok,
right?
And he's like become huge, like even bigger than he was before. So yeah, dude, keep at it.
Yeah.
TikTok.
Yeah, I like this. He's like the Drake of TikTok. Drake
really
will
is.
like hot rappers, hot up and coming rappers songs, recreate his own hype and build this guy, give this new dude a #1 single. Jason Derulo actually had that Jalebi Baby song with
That's kind of like what set off this big thing, I think. At least his resurgence in my head was Jalebi Baby. Otherwise, I forgot about him way back when.
Yeah, and that's an Canadian Indian kid, Tesher, whose original song that was. So yeah, there's some artists out there, but like overall, like who do we really have who's like Indian on the hip hop scale, like who's not doing like pop music? It's only really Nav, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it.
But I think that's also why like that movie did so well too, Gully Boy, because it kind of, I know even though it was Indian, he was like a small town like guy, it's kind of just like this genre of music is not explored by like Southeast Asian or whatever. So it's like Southeast Asian people. So I guess that's kind of it too, that it's, in pop culture and otherwise, it's a untapped kind of segment.
Totally. And that's why hip hop is really booming in India now. Like there's a lot of Hindi rappers that are doing dope things in India.
Have you ever thought about that? Like doing any rap in Hindi or incorporating that in your music? Is that ever like, I don't know, something you've wanted?
I would do well in a New York bar for sure.
Really?
Like, at least, like, people are drunk enough and they're like, fuck yeah. Like whenever that one Hindi rap song that comes on. I don't know it, but like, sure you know what I'm talking about. The thing
what's that?
Ding, 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 one.
That one that always plays and everyone gets so excited, and I'm just
yeah,
like,
Brown
okay.
Monday. You're talking about AP Dylan, right? Are you
No,
talking about?
no, she's talking about
Oh,
Un
No.
Día Tu Quiero, that
oh,
one.
oh, yeah. With that,
The one that always, like, no matter what, where, and what decade we're in, it's that
Yeah.
always. I'm like, we need to move on from this. So you need
Yeah.
to move on too.
For sure. Not opposed to it at all. Like, I'm not opposed to, putting Hindi in there, or like putting like something that's a hook that's like resonating there. But
Dylan's huge, dude. He blew up, and he's like, I don't think he's ever lived in India. He's like lived all his life in Canada, and
Canada,
he's got
yeah.
this huge Punjabi fan base in India and everywhere. I think he's just wrapped up his first tour. He's still doing it. And it was a
Yeah.
big deal, man, in India. There's not been a lot of, huge concerts like that, especially since COVID, and his was back the fuck out, like every city.
I saw.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Crazy.
for sure. I don't know. For me, I think like my music, I have a stronger command over my raps in English. Like I could foray into that, but I also don't want to like make some stuff or make things just to blow up because there's an audience for that. I kind of want to do what I'm doing, and then like like if people catch on to that, that's cool with me. If not, maybe it's not for you. But I'm not opposed to doing stuff in Hindi and collaborating with Hindi artists and stuff. But the English Hindi collab, like when you put them together,
Sounds weird.
it's like not always the best like listening experience. Maybe I'm not Xing it out in the future, but
Yep.
I do like my goal and my like real ambition is to do something global and to do something that really like be an artist on a global scale in as well as India, and they can if they hop on it and everybody hops on it because I'm putting on like that's dope. But yeah, no, I went there and I like went to a few shows in Delhi, network with some of these guys, I made relationships and stuff, and I'm very like in tune with the underground scene, what's going on there, and there's definitely an audience for it. Sometimes I do think about whether is that the type of people I even relate to that are listening to Hindi rap. Sometimes it's like are those the people who are going to share my story and my like kind of because let's be real, like at this point it's been 7-8 years, like I'm an immigrant to them as well, in a sense.
Sure.
Like it's like I'm not really telling their story. Huh?
You belong nowhere. You're not from the US. You're not really from
Right.
It's the same problem I think all of us like international kids kind of go through, is like, where's that sense of belonging? Because people from home aren't, you have like a different life to them, and of course you do from people here. So you kind of, I guess, like with what you're doing, you just kind of you build your own sort of version of what that means to you. And
exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I mean, in the future maybe I'll write a few verses here and then Hindi, throw a few references in, but yeah, like I think that I want to continue doing what I'm doing and seeing what happens. But for sure, like I got love for all of the artists that I've met that are doing it, that are killing it in the Indian scene, for sure.
That's dope. No, good stuff, man. I think this has been really cool. We're gonna, of course, link your song and all of that, and send us the files.
Play it.
We'll definitely play it.
Talk about it. Yeah.
We can play it on repeat in the back very quietly
Yeah.
in the beginning. And yeah, whenever.
Who edits things?
Huh?
Who edits them? You or Sanjana?
Not me. I don't know who does it, but I don't do it.
Usually somebody from our team helps me edit.
Gotcha. Yeah. Nice.
Our team. Wow.
So not Sanjana for sure. Sanjana doesn't do it.
I know. I don't do it. I don't know who does it.
And then waits. When is this coming out? Keeps texting me. When is it coming out?
Okay, I write like all the copy for it. So just.
So yeah, it's a team effort.
For sure.
The big team.
But,
yeah. Sorry.
No, so
nah.
For sure, and yeah, man, like keep at it, dude. I'm super excited to hear what you come out with next, and if I visit LA, I'm definitely gonna message you, and then you can take me to one of these studio sessions, and we can party while
Sure.
you do the work, and I'll party, I guess.
Yeah. No, thank you. Thanks for reaching out, bro. It's great to connect with you after so long. Thank you both of you for having me. This was a fun convo. Yeah, try and make it out here while you're in the US.
For sure. And yeah, dude, great to connect with you after so long. We're gonna keep in touch. And
For sure.
yeah, I mean,
Stop recording.
yeah.
Yeah.